What is going on, guys? We should be nice and live on YouTube. I should show one thing. And we're back. I think you can definitely go ahead and pause that if you'd like. Take a read, take a gander. And now we're jumping into this trade because this was a trade opportunity I took last night. But as you can see, we did come back down for the retest of that area, which is pretty good. Let me shift you over to the left a little. But I just wanted to hop into this trade and get this started because I don't want the trade to take off without any real recording of it. I do have this trade over in the Discord as well. Do have this sent over in the Discord, but we'll get into that in a short moment. I'm just starting out my day, and so we're going to just put on some music and start it up. Let's see what I can play. What can I play? Fuck it, we'll test it with something else. Let's go and just play some, nothing too crazy. I don't know if this is even Alexa, connect to Bluetooth.
Searching. Now connected to 247 Mac Mini.
Man, if they have copyright on these songs from hundreds of years ago, crazy.
From Quora.com.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, connect to Bluetooth.
Searching. You're already connected to 247 Mac Mini. To connect a different device, go to the Alexa app.
Yeah, we got a little bit of music. Alexa, never mind. Not sure what happened, but my chest has been in pain since yesterday. I was sitting in a very weird position and woke up in pain. I have many busy stuff, but I'll go through and I'll explain this trade in a moment. Okay, cool. Got one off there. But let me go in, show that profit. So we are in a trade we took last night. I do have a bunch of little things, but we'll probably stay live on here for about an hour. And then we can get a good indication for what price is really trying to do here. I don't know. Yesterday I was laying down or sitting in a very strange position, and I got up with a Bunch of pain. Let me get something else going in the meantime as I start this up. But yeah, this trade is what just happened? But yeah, this trade is progressing, and I don't know if I'm gonna take any other trades. I'm not really looking at this exact moment. What is this? GN? This was a while ago. Today is Wednesday. This is like Friday. We haven't gotten much bullish activity from today on that. But the focal point for now is this trade here, which we took last night just because we were rejecting that 127 level. And so that is so far playing pretty nicely for us. So far playing pretty nicely. And this trade should make us a few extra bucks. These are all just small positions at the end of the day, just to trickle up the account. This account is more of a public account, as I'm using this account to trade for the trade alerts and for the auto trader. So this is handling all those. So I just try to ensure I'm taking low risk positions, and surviving to trade the next day is of the most importance. The most importance. A lot of people, now that I've been sharing the clips of the live stream, a lot of people have been asking for the link for it, to just when am I going live. And so we're live today just so we can get this wrapped up. I'm going to discuss this in a moment. I just want to get everything up and going. We're about to fully actually break the fib 50% level, so at least we're slowly trickling up. Slowly trickling up. And we'll see just what price has to do to maintain its way. I think FOMC is coming out in maybe like 3 hours. Bro, if there's copyright on this music, I'm gonna be so impressed. So impressed. Who owns this? Might have to take a little today's gonna be an extremely busy day. I might have to take a little break around 3 o'clock, 3 to 4, something like that. But my chest is actually in excruciating pain right now. Excruciating. But in case you didn't see, you didn't realize, got these 24/7 shirts. Always have to represent the brand. And so some things I want to get off. Let's just see if I can get that done properly. See if I can just get this going. But we're up just a little bit, and the trade has been moving in profit. We haven't had much drawdown at all, given the fact that this trade just went straight up. We spent what, 2 hours, 3 hours, call it, in that drawdown area, but just diving the candle down there shortly. This is what it looks like from what we actually took the entry on the 4-hour time frame. So you know, like maybe you don't know already, but I have a staple way, a standard way of looking for the trade ideas, and this is it. Given the fact that the market pushed up, did its little consolidation, fell back down to some extreme levels, now we're looking to push up to relevant highs or at least new highs. Sorry, I said that backwards. At least relevant highs, but we would like to see new highs made here. That would be optimal. Do we not have the option? Okay, cool. This is generally how I start every morning. Minus not reading, but this trade still looks very fruitful. Something I'm still very much willing to hold. Let's see if I can want to swap this. bunch of little shit I need to get out. Holy brother.
And it keeps me going, and I love it. And it keeps me going, and I love it. And I think if you give it a shot, you might love it too. And it keeps me going, and I love it. And I think if you give it a shot, you might love it too. And it keeps me going, and I love it. And I think if you give it a shot, you might love it too.
Alright, bet. I got some other little shits to do, but for now, let's just cover this trade. What exactly are we doing here and why? But we can start on the Discord, as we can see us taking this trade and putting in 0.25 at this level. The next trade is more important, I guess, because there we actually show the stop loss getting added. From this here, this indicator is now the updated version of what the Fibonacci indicator we had before was doing. Fuck. So there's a little bit of an improvement. The Fibonacci indicator we had before was just plotting these, the swing high to swing low, 127, 160, one level. Those were our most important levels. But the way that I had it improved is the fact that we are now, I think I can show you on this, can now, so this is just another account that I have, but you can see here on the 4-hour time frame, the Fibonacci is now plotting these highs and lows, and also plotting another correlated level for these. And we're just looking to trade these levels from, you know, considering the weekly. Is the indicator even on this? Considering the weekly bias or the monthly bias or the daily bias, whatever bias you're really looking at, and then using these 4-hour levels that are projected onto the market and looking to trade these. So this is the same. Where is it? What were we trading? This. So this is the same exact entry. They may be different lot sizes, but in case you don't know, the trade sent from my master account is also copied on a few other slave accounts, being this one. And so they have the same exact entry, different lot sizes. And so this is one of the trades that we're taking from here up about 22 pips at the moment. You can see that goes in line with what it says. Well, I can't show you here, but like what it says right there, about 22 pips. So yeah, this is how the indicator ultimately plots these. You can see those beautiful levels that we can play to. absolutely beautiful levels. But we're looking to continue this. We could move the stop loss. What is the price that we're at right now? We're at like 32. So we have maybe about 30 pips. There's another way I could check that. Yeah, so we have about 25 pips. So is our entry actually correct here? We have an entry at 091. Ow. 22. Our entry is at 091. So boom, that makes those line up on point, which is ultimately what we want. Ow. You have to stretch or something. But this is what we're looking at for this. And as we approach these high levels, we can look to get out of the market as, like I mentioned just previously, the relevant high areas are being hit. And so the Fibonacci has now been updated to better not just show Fibonacci levels, but show another key levels that I'm looking for, which are those 4-hour support and resistance levels. And this goes back to the trading guide, which is already released. If you get the initiate program over on the website, you'll see all of this basic information shared as to these 4-hour levels, these levels that we can all look for our entries on, and looking to play them in our direction. See what today has in store. But yeah, we're gonna look to continue. While we're here live, we may just go through and bring this trade to break even, something to just secure some profits, make the trade, make the live a little eventful. Because I'm not totally day trading, or I'm not trying to take trades just for this live stream. I'm not trying to like scalp or just make a quick buck during the live stream and then just calling it ended there. This is more of a process. So maybe one of these days I'll come on live and we'll be closing a trade. We did on some of the previous ones, but it's all situational based. Did we take a trade? Where are we in that trade? Are we at a good place to exit? All these different little factors. But we're climbing up in profit here. Climbing up in profit here, not too badly done. All these different tabs. Hugging face. But yeah, this trade isn't bad at all. Now, if we're going to go into some gems, some real gems of the market structure, okay? The market is one of the trickiest things out there. Master manipulator. You have to be aware of these tactics that it will take. The fact that it is trying to make a majority of the people lose as much as they can, okay? So, obviously, the market is, what's that word? Fractal. So it moves in many different pieces. Things that you see on the higher level are also things that you see on the lower levels. There are different things. So what we generally want to do is have the higher time frame as our guide, a place where we can choose to follow the trend from. And from there we go down to our lower time frames. Here I just have the 4 hour for situational bias. Are we in trend with the higher trend, or are we not? Are we consolidating on the 4 hour? What are our key levels for this week that we can spot on that 4 hour time frame? So as we seen on that indicator, this ultimately becomes a very key area for us, given that we have some highs battling around this area, we have some lows battling around this area. The wow factor of all of this is the fact that the market came a bit lower, probably triggered a lot of people into their sell positions before having this position try to ride back up. And for now, we're just getting pure green candles, so we'll try to look what the market does in this section here and ultimately look for our higher target more above. But you just have to keep in mind that the market is a very tricky place. The market is that place where a lot of loss happens, and the best time ideally for someone, let's say 300 years ago, 400 years ago, the best and ideal time to buy or make a position would be after a lot of people are urged to sell theirs, whether they just don't want it anymore, it's bad publicity to have one, or whatever. Bad publicity ultimately doesn't factor on whether it is actually valuable or not, or whether the value is actually going to increase or decrease. It may seem like this is a factor, but the real value of things ultimately never changes. This can go into a tangent on, let's say, buying a house. A lot of people, if you bought a house for $1 million and 10 years later you try to sell the house and they're offering you more than $1 million, they're not really offering you more money. What they are doing is offering you the value with inflation and all these other factors included. You're still getting $1 million worth, ideally, right? You just have to factor in the fact that everything of the prices outside, the price of services, the price of milk, bread, all these other services outside have also increased, right? So you're still getting $1 million worth that you put into the house, right? So ultimately I'm saying, no matter if the market seems to go up or down, the value is maintained ultimately. That goes to why I speak about this. So there are people in this position, obviously, and when price comes down to breaks past this level, you have a lot of people who are going to exit, transition their moves, enter sell positions, whole bunch of reasoning. The market is anticipating and knows what it looks like to fool a majority of the amount of people. So with this liquidity section happening here, we also just have our Fibonacci, which is pointing us to our key levels. And then we have the 127. 127 gives us our nice rejection, 3 candles on the rejection, a morning star pattern at the start of the day. Obviously, I didn't take the trade there. I waited a bit, and when we came back in this area, and this is what is great about using the higher time frames, is the fact that I'm only on the lower time frame picking up a piece of this. You don't need to be there for the entire long thing. As more time you spend in the market, the more risk you're taking, the more exposed you ultimately are. Bro, oh my goodness. What am I gonna do? And we're not even in the 1 hour candle yet. But we have what, 1 R on this position. We're targeting 3.2 R. At this point in time, if we did have a proper entry at the 127 level, or even a pending order, a closed candle, all those would have been better realistically. But we can still move our position up to break even, just so we can see how the rest of the trade will play out. But I'm more likely to do that, I don't know, maybe around like 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I have some other things to do, so that's going to make me manage my position here a little different, as I may not be on my phone. I think I have some people coming over. We'll see though what happens. But yeah, that's basically this trade. And there's no real need to be on the lower time frame. But if we do even just check it out, we're just going to see the trickery. The trickery with this pair is great. So we have to look for some type of consistencies that we can depend on. One consistency is that a large amount of people are losing. That is one consistency that maintains. And so how do you use that? The fact that when the market does wow related stuff, obviously you're not buying a bull run, and you're not, for this type of thing is based on time frames, so you can't be on a lower time frame buying the bull run, kind of like this entry here. So the main trend, the weekly trend in this case, is bullish, right? That is what we're plotting on. We're looking for the trend to continue. And so from the 4 hour, I just found these key levels. I don't necessarily want to buy in from the 4 hour if the market is just pushing straight up. What I want to see is some activity that is kind of counter the main trend. I still expect the main trend to persist, but I want to see the hourly or the 4 hour start to try to deflect against the higher time frame. And that gives me an opportunity. That tells me that a large amount of people are in for a loss when we have things that go against the trend, or things that appear to go against the trend. Now, I don't necessarily think this formation is against the trend, just because the way that I go about breaking down the market is always in push, consolidate, extreme, continuation on the push, consolidate, extreme, right? Breaks down through these levels, causes a wow factor. If we go back to some things that I seen Elon Musk talking about, simulation theory, the fact that things got to be interesting. There has to be some emotion involved. There has to be some wow, some, I didn't believe that could happen, never in my lifetime. Or these things happen so often that you kind of just have to look out for them. If you stay on top of those type of things, you're more likely to notice when they're happening. And quote by John D. Rockefeller. Oh, what? I didn't verify this. Yeah, so John D. Rockefeller has a quote that says, "Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if there." Buy when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own, right? And this is a powerful quote. This demonstrates what I'm trying to show you here. The fact that things are bullish. That things are most likely going to work out. And now, apart from that, you start to see a situation of consolidation. Let's say real life event, production slows. There's no new jobs coming into the economy. these type of things. Something that is stalemate, something where there's no real advancements coming, but it seems to be a period of of stagnation. Then comes the wow factor, like, man, things are actually going to reverse. It made new lows. The last few bearish days have been quite larger than the previous action, but all of this is manipulation. Some people want to blame the banks. I think this is just how life works. I think this is simply just how life works. Whoever modeled the markets or whatever the case, they're just modeling off a real life. You're trading human emotions when you come to this type of place. And so you look for those wow factors, those extreme levels. You transfer positions, you make your buy, you buy from the majority who are losing, and price then has enough energy, has enough liquidity to push onto the newer levels as long as it keeps trending, right? Oops, that's not what I wanted. But let me see. I have some other little things to try to reply to. This says, but yeah, it's a very tricky thing. So your best bet is just to go with the direction of the higher trend. Right now, I could do a little better and go for the monthly as my trend direction. And ultimately, the reason I don't is because you have to keep in mind the frequency of trades that you're going to be taking. Do you want to take trades on this frequency? How long do you plan on holding your positions for? And so I can swing trade these, hold these for 2 days, 3 days, or 1 day or something like that. But I'm not necessarily day trading looking to get in and out. Now, I will try to get out if we are still if we're basically near the stop loss. I would say near the entry, but depends on how big our stop loss is. I don't want to be stopped out due to high spreads because of the new day when my position is still going to be valid after the fact and all that stuff. The only thing that invalidates me at the moment is the high spread hitting my stop loss, and then 1 hour later the position comes back to validity. Maybe for old time's sake, we should just get a game in of chess. I'll probably be live for maybe about 20 more minutes. And then it's going to be 12:20. 12:20. I think I'm pulling a little I have to go on the road to. Yeah, today's just a little busy, so I'm going to try to get everything that I need done. Trying to get everything that I would need done. I don't know. My body's tripping. I need to like get back in the daily workouts. I've been asleep. But yeah, this trade is progressing pretty nice. There's no, let me say this to add to the importance of everything else. There's not really any tricky behavior, or let me say it's not tricky. The least appearing tricky behavior is when the market is trending. When the market is just going straight up, it's pretty inevitable determining where the market is going to go. The biggest issue comes when a lot of traders give their money back or they lose money, is generally going to be between the consolidation periods. Now, if you decide to go and get the course that I offer, I break these down into male and female principles. I think that the market, when it goes through its trending phases, are showing very clear in a dominant role, and this generally only lasts between 20 to 30% of the time in the market. The rest of the time in the market, the majority is going to be filled by consolidation periods, and periods when we kind of think it's confusing, periods where the market doesn't seem to make much sense. This is a majority of life. A lot of people in life are going through the whole thing confused step by step, right? So take that into factor that it is the feminine principle to create. Feminine principle creates, masculine principles would dominate, right? So, or maybe not dominate, but is direct. So you have these situations, and like I mentioned, we box price into a consolidation period, and then from that I want to see the extreme. This is the moment of creation for the trend that is about to happen. Right? The fact that we consolidated and we came back down to our entry area and we went back up. Let me see something on but yeah, regardless, so there is plenty of opportunity for the market to go up and down, up and down. Don't get lost in its round and rounds just because that's exactly what it's trying to make you do, trying to get you to get out, take the loss, and you got to think of ways for that not to happen. What are the constant things in the market? What are the things that are actually consistent? Because a lot of traders are going to say that nothing is consistent in the market except change. Nothing is, even the strategies don't work every time. They work some of the time. And so, yes, that is true. The market is working on a probabilistic nature of things. But there are some consistent things like the majority losing. If you think of the market as a business model, not only in what you have to do, but in how the market is run, you'll see that there are advertisement campaigns, there are situations in where the market is leading you to want to get in. It is enticing you to think, this is a clean, perfect opportunity for whatever reason. But always just wait for the liquidity of this. Wait for a majority of the people to lose. That would be the truly key area. And obviously look for a higher time frame, lower time frame. Candlesticks. I wouldn't say candlestick patterns, but as to the momentum displayed in the candlestick, that is definitely key and important. Definitely key and important factor there. Gold, I think I seen was just looking like it would go up as well. Gold rejecting that level that we had there as well. So likely that gold increases given that we're at this little support area, and just viewing it from the lower time frame will be a little more on point. But this has a bearish bias at the moment, so nonetheless, market always goes from the 127 to 160, 127 and 161 to the negative inversions of that same level. So that's just something we want to be on the lookout for. If we look at what's been happening on this time frame, it does seem like we do have the potential to come back down to this level. Just to interact with that candlestick and then try to continue upwards. But it's not something that I think too hard about. We can, that's about 15 pips from our break-even level. If I do cover anything, I may just cover a very small amount, maybe about 5 pips or so. What is 5 pips like? Yeah, I cover about 5 pips. Let the rest of it run. I'm only really concerned if we start to get any rejections of the resistance level, that negative 0.27 level. If we start to get any disobedience there, then I would look for that exit. Nonetheless, yeah, it's a good trade. We're trailing, and let's try to get a quick game in. Let's see if we can get a quick game in. Oh, are these my games? Say a word. Yeah, we're trailing, and we're gonna do the update before I get off. That way the Discord sees the update and we have that. What is the key opening? The only thing I know is that we should try to play the center. The center has the majority of the control. All the pieces move better if from the center. Could have put some serious pressure on that. This guy's 181. Oh, I'm at 190. I'm not doing that much better. If he decides to move this, I'll quickly advance on that. can just stop all of his movements. We can go queen for queen. Or I could just put his king in check. And then I can take this. It's a great move. But yeah, we're gonna push this, and I think with our target on this, if we're currently at 71, probably got halfway to go. More than halfway, but halfway at a minimum. Probably make 140 US on this. We'll make a little more. It will definitely add up to a little more. But this is just one of the trades. Gonna move this up. Beer. Fuck. Or is he gonna take this? He can try to take this. Move this shit along. But yeah, we're trailing. And price is nearing. A lot of people will probably have these levels, these resistance levels. It's the best way to draw this one on. None of these are even feasible. Maybe if someone drew this. This, not feasible. This, not really feasible either. But you can just connect that, and put them in like this. But that's not a real level. Not to me, at least. Let's try. Oh, I'm so retarded. I should have took this guy's piece, but it's okay. It's okay. I still get to do what I was ultimately trying to do. Wait, do I? I should have took his piece. I don't know why I didn't see that. Yeah, this resistance is going to, it's not going to hold. Price is going to break through it. We have more powerful stuff at play here than a trend line. What was my overall play here? I can take this. He's not going to move and take it. And his king's in check. Why not? Ooh, we made a good move there. But I think I can move better. Holy fuck. I'd rather face people who have higher scores than me. But can't choose, can I? This will fuck some things up. What is he gonna do? He could do that, that's for sure. But then I could do that. That's fucking great. Beautiful move. Gonna move this here. That way if he tries, I mean, he can't take that. I'm gonna move it here, block him in. Move my king, take his piece. Fuck. Not thinking too many ahead. Is he gonna take that? He took it. Okay. What can we do? Not taking his queen when I had the chance was crucial. Truly crucial. That's what he did. He moved back closer. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? He has a play on this. He has a play on my queen if I try to take that pawn. He has to move his king. He has to move his king where here or here. No. Yeah, he can only move it there. I don't want to stall the game. Last time I did that and it just wasn't good. Like I had the whole advantage on that guy and friggin' I stalled the fucking game. If I take this, he's gonna take my queen. Okay. Keep advancing. What am I gonna do in this situation? Ah, bro, I'm retarded. If I put pressure on his king, where's his king gonna move now? Back here. It's a tough little move, tough little move. So boom, queen, right? He takes it, I take his. Let's do it. Is this checkmate? Oh, he has my thing in check, eh? That's a dangerous move too. Okay, queen for queen. This position should still keep going. The only thing that is going through my mind at the moment is the fact that this is, so you can see here it went through that little consolidation, push back down to extreme levels, can push up. So from not necessarily this point exactly, but I know the next thing that is to come in this phase is going to be some type of consolidation, and then an extreme back to ideally previous supports, and then look for price to push up once again. But we don't know entirely. I think he's really trying to apprehend my pieces, eh? Really trying. But yeah, the only place I see that we can come back down to is this. Just trying to keep that queen in good position. Just trying to keep that queen in very good position. Fuck. I don't know why I think of these after the fact. But bro, this, like, he's just gonna take it. Fuck. But it's okay. Let him bring that there. We still have time to take this. 1, 2, 3. Running out of time too. Less thinking, more action. Play a very tight game here. Very tight game here. I'm running out of time. So what is he gonna do? What I'm gonna do, well, we'll just have to test it out and see, but I'm gonna update that stop loss. Is there any way of winning? Like, bro, what the fuck? He's gonna have to move that out. Oh, this guy's a dumbass. This guy's a dumbass. Bro, I fucked that up so bad right there. And I fucked it up again. And he just keeps not getting it. He keeps blowing that. But I think I'm gonna lose. Pussy! Bro, what? Bro, this is exactly what I wanted to friggin' avoid. Holy shit. Oh my god. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I fucked up so hard in that game, and that guy fucked up pretty hard too. Like, there's a bunch of shitty shit. There's a bunch of shitty shit. There has to be bare blunders, bro.
A winning position turned to a stalemate after a very interesting
Fucking asshole, bro. Like, what is that? What was that? Okay, let's update the stop on this. But we both had 2 blunder. I had 11 misses. I noticed some of those misses. No brilliant moves. 5 for 1. 10 for 16. He beat me there. I had more misses. And I had less mistakes. I had 2 inaccuracies. Why would textbook be below, like, brilliant or great? I guess, obviously, there's ways of doing better than what the textbook says, but... Bro.
Their knight moves into the game.
All of this is clean work.
You get a chance to win a rook through that. This move left their knight hanging. That you did it. Nice. Stop. You captured a free. That was the only move.
Yeah, the only move.
This is a fine move. Your opponent develops their queen off its starting square. It's good to get. That's not a mistake.
And then the fuckery starts right here.
Pick up a free queen.
Why would I have moved this here? If I move this here, he's just gonna sweep me. Oh no, this is his piece. He should have moved there. Yeah, he should have moved there in safety.
You missed a better way to attack the
Yeah,
queen.
I noticed that one. I noticed that one.
Their move stopped this one. They've made a mistake and their queen is now lost.
Yeah, he retreated for no
Nice.
reason.
You found a way to win a queen.
I found a way to win a queen.
They moved their king. You just allowed your bishop to be taken without a fight. You missed an opportunity to capture a free queen.
Exactly, bro. I didn't even notice that till now.
You are now. You missed an opportunity. Nice. You had an opportunity to force eventual checkmate. You get a chance to force You had an opportunity to force eventual checkmate. You missed a better way to defend a bishop. You just capturing your better option. Their better move was to win a tempo by threatening a queen. Capturing your hanging your better option. Their best option. You allowed them. They missed a chance to win a queen. You permitted them. They missed it. You prevent their king. Oop. Your capture. You allowed the opponent to checkmate the king. They missed a chance to checkmate the king. You blocked. They missed a chance to win material because the defense.
And then now it's just limited but good play.
This move left their bishop hanging. They missed a chance to cap. You cap. You stalemated your opponent and let them escape with a draw. Despite having a
And let them escape with a fucking draw. Ridiculous. But let's update this. I'm gonna go head on to some other things. And when I update it, you'll actually be able to see it get updated in this, if we go here, so yeah, even just looking at this fib projection that this automatically places on, we're at the 120, we're at the 161 level for this projection here. There's a good chance that we come into some type of consolidation. Like I said before, we still have this level here that we can run into and try to regain some energy to push back up to the upside. Now, the stop loss, let's see where we're going to place it. So yeah, I'm going to place the stop loss about 5 pips from where we are, from our entry. Maybe about like right there. This will bring us to 14. I think I said I got in it at 9.1. So 14.1 would be about 5 pips. I'll probably bring it to 15 realistically. That way I just have what, 5.9 pips. So we're going to see the updates in 2 places. We're going to see the update here in the actual MT5 because this is the slave account, and so the master account is going to transfer it here. And then we're also going to see the update in the Discord, and that's going to show our new percentage, how much pips we covered it. I think it should show how much pips we just covered. Well, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I actually have to do that twice. So boom, that should be the first one, and I think this is too little. No, I think it's right. I think that's right. So this one is in, and like I said, we'll see the updates somewhere else as well. In the actual Discord, there should be 2 because I did just have to move the stop loss twice. But there it shows 21 pips. Okay, no, that was something else. That is stop loss. So after this, the current time, so we just covered first 3.8 pips. That was a mistake. We changed it to 5.7, and we should have about 1.54% covered on this position. This is what it looks like now. So entry, stop loss, and like I showed before, these are the areas that we can potentially look for price to slow down at, or we have our target. Should probably set our target as well for this level right up here, 76 at 85.01. So we can just get that in that target. I'm not sure if I'm going to hold ultimately all the way to that target. If we come down towards a stop loss and we hit that, then obviously we're not hitting the target. But as long as momentum continues, we don't get any huge bearish moves, but we can still come down to this red line, like I said. And then this is going to be a few pips off of our stop loss. Maybe about 10 pips off of our stop loss. So at the end of the day, we'll cover a very small win if it does go down to the stop loss. Otherwise, we're still looking for more pips on this. 1R is not what we're looking to cover. It just wouldn't make sense in the long run. But the price that we're looking at was, I think, 91, 985. Okay, target is set. Boom, it's in there. That is great to see. Go to the 4 hour, and you can see we're ultimately looking to push beyond the current resistance level because the trend would be continuing. It would be long. You can see that a lot of the pressure as of recent is going upwards. The weekly candle is going upwards. And so we're just looking to get a bit of that. A bit of that with a good risk to reward will do wonders. And so we have our target set at 76 pips basically. Yeah, and this one. So these, like I said, these are two different accounts. So this one here is going to collect $75, and then this one on the other one, we're already up 76, I think it says, or 70, one of them. And this one's going to go to 180 or 190 basically. So we have these two accounts that I'm showing. We have some other accounts takes these. You can see there's different risks. So that one in the picture said 0.25. This one is 0.10. And yeah, we just plan to keep holding this trade. We have some resistance areas, so we just look to see how price deals with these. Does it want to continue to the upside or try to go against that? But yeah, I lost this chess game. We'll count that as a loss, definitely, because I did not win. But that's all it for the stream, realistically. I'm going to go on and do some other things, try to get those done. I will catch you guys on the next stream. Do some backtesting. I know you may not want to pay $25 or whatever it is for TradingView. I do offer the backtesting service, so you can go all the backtesting you want, and it's $9 a month. Save yourself some money, deposit that into your account if necessary, and try to develop that small account. You know that I often promote doing this $10 challenge, small accounts, practice your skill, be able to do something with that, and take good risk rewards. That's all I can really say for the stream. We will touch back on the next one and take a look at where this trade went and how the next